Welcome back, students. We're going to be continuing on to page 3, or page, I guess this is, sorry, yeah, this is page 3. So we're going to go over example 3, so finding the distance between 2 points. So essentially you just plug in whichever one first or second, it doesn't matter, you're going to get the same distance formula. So I'm going to do it over here. So our 2 points are -2, 1 and 3, 4. So if we plug that into the distance formula, -2 minus 3 squared plus 1 minus 4 squared. So the idea is that if we do it right, it's -5 squared plus -3 squared, so we get 25 plus 9 square root, and that gives us the square root of 34. So our distance is going to be the square root of 34. Now, if you did this on your own or checked in the book also talks about doing it graphically and checking with Pythagorean theorem. That's not going to be an effective way of doing it, so it's just easier to check your math, see if you plugged in things consistently, and again, you just box your answer at the end. So that would be our distance formula. Now let's go to example 4. We're going to talk about the vertices of a right triangle and showing that it's a right triangle. Easiest way to show that it is a right triangle is you show that the Pythagorean theorem fits. So we're actually going to have the distance between 2, 1, and 4. Now, could you do this? No, you cannot do distance kind of in your head. And then 5, 7, and 4, 0, and 5, 7. Okay, so I'm going to do these pretty quickly. You can work out on your own. So the distance of this, 2 minus 4 squared plus 1 minus 0 squared, we get 2 squared, which is 4 plus 1, so we get 5. So our first distance is 5, second distance. So 2 minus 5 plus 1 minus 7 squared. So if you do this right, this is 3, so 3 squared is 9, 9 plus 6 squared is 36, so this is 39. You could always double check my math. So our second distance is this. Let's say this is D2, D1, D2. Okay, and then finally distance 3, which will be 4 minus 5 squared plus 0 minus 7 squared. So if you do the math, you get 1. 1 squared is 1, plus 7 is 49, so 1 plus 49. Sorry about that. 1 plus 49, you're going to get 3. It's going to be 50. Let's double check our math. See if we made a mistake. This should be 6 squared, 36. There we go. That's what the problem is. So 9 plus 36 equals the square root of 45. That makes so much sense. So, yeah, so if you have a problem, see, notice I stopped and checked because I got 50 over here and I had 5 and 39, which would not add up to be a right triangle. So I would say it's a wrong answer, and then I check my work. So what do we check? We check the Pythagorean theorem. So D1 I'm just going to call A, and I'm just going to call this B, and I'm going to call this C. So A squared is going to be 5 plus B squared is going to be 45 equals C squared, and C squared in this case is 50. So notice square root of 5 squared is 5, square root of 45 is 45. square root of 45 squared is 45, and square root of 50 squared is 50. So we add it together, we get 50 equals 50. So then, therefore, right triangle. You should say right triangle. You don't need to write a proof for it, you just need to show it doing the math, okay? Again, you can check, sometimes I will make mistakes and go back and check. Okay, example 5 is midpoint. So midpoint, you add the two x values. So adding the two x values is -5 plus 9, and you divide by 2. And then you add -3 plus 3 and divide by 2. What's our answer? We get 4 over 2 is 2, and 0 over 2 is 0. So our midpoint is 2, 0. Okay? Okay, let's move on to practice problems. So I actually, if you finish these practice problems on your own, come to class and we'll check what you did. Okay? That sound good? Sounds good. Application. So we're getting into application. Now, this one, you have to read it carefully. So we have to actually zoom out of it. We have to read it carefully and make sure that we get the concept. So, reading carefully, a football quarterback throws a pass from the 28-yard line, 40 yards from the sideline. So we draw with the 28-yard line, and he's 40 yards. Okay, so he's this distance is 40, this distance is 28. Okay, and he throws it to a receiver on the 5. Sorry. 1 second. Receiver, sorry. This distance is 25, 28. And then this distance is 5. And this receiver, it's about right here, is 20. Okay? So, if we are to create this, and this was our y-axis, and this was our x-axis, this is y, and this is x, then this point would be point 40, 28, and this point would be 20, 5. Okay, because they ask for the distance between these 2 points. So again, we find the distance. So 40, 28, and 20, 5. Okay, distance equals 40 minus 20 squared plus 28 minus 5 squared. Okay, distance equals 400, which is 20 squared, plus, and I believe 23 squared is 400. I'm gonna get this wrong, but checking in my calculator. Okay, 529. So if we add them up, our distance is 929, and double check our math. Nope, so there's no perfect square, so that would be our answer. And you would say yards. Now, it might want you to estimate, so you would say 30.5 yards. Okay. Okay, let's move on. The next one is Barnes and Noble, and you'll notice that it gives us 2 different years that in the sales. So we're calculating the midpoint between them. So finding the midpoint, we're finding the x values because it gave us the y values, or you could say we're finding the y values given the x values. So usually time is our x value. So 2005 plus 2007 over 2, comma, 5.1 plus 5.4 over 2. So if you do the math for this, you get 2006. And if you do the math for this, you get 10.6 or 10.5, which would give us 5 point, and I believe that's 5.25. Yep. So this would be our midpoint. Okay? And the actual sales were pretty close. They were 5.26 in the real world. Okay, vertices of a triangle. If you shift them up, shift 3 units to the right and 2 units up. So this is just a basic transformation. Again, if you practice the transformations I gave you, that should be easy. Okay, so 3 units to the right is plus 3, and 2 units upward is plus 2. So you get 2 comma 4. And then if we do the next one, which is 1 comma negative 4, so this became this. This would become 4 comma negative 2. And then the last one is 2 comma 3. And that would shift and become, sorry that this went a little bit long. It would become 5 comma 5. Okay, that is it. The rest are practice problems. Or coordinate plane practice problems. We'll talk about the coordinate plane practice problems in the next video. Okay, thank you guys so much. We'll talk to you in a minute.